What fact is common knowledge in your field, but almost unknown to the rest of the population? People almost always try to exit through the same door they entered. In a crowded venue, always take a second to find your exit and then find a second exit. Mark them in your brain just in case. In an emergency, most of the crowd is going to go for the main door they came in through. Knowing where another exit is can save your life. Urban heat kills way more people in Australia than bushfires. In the 2009 Black Saturday bushfires in Victoria, 173 people died in the fires, but over 300 died of the heat prior to that. Also, most of those deaths occur at night, not during day. UTIs will often cause confusion in people over 70. UTI is urinary tract infection, and some people can get confused to the point of hallucinations and delirium. It can cause increased weakness, which also leads to falls. When you're taking Imodium, you're actually taking an opioid. But it's designed to only interact with the opioid receptors in your digestive tract to slow down your intestines. Scientists were like, hey, you know that anti-diarrhea medication heroin? Well, what if we made a version of that without the pesky side effects of getting you high? Powerful explosives are so insensitive to shock that it usually takes a smaller, more sensitive explosive to set them off. An elevator will go up to the top of the hoist instead of crash to the floor in most catastrophic failures due to the counterweights. If you have sad vegetables, carrots, celery, or lettuce that look wilted, not bad, you can make them crunchy by shocking in ice water. Genetics, there's a bunch of stuff we don't report back because they're considered incidental findings. This can include genetic diseases with no treatment/mitigation. Or non-paternity. If your kid is sick with a genetic disease and you go get genetic testing done for mom, dad, and little Timmy, we do not automatically report back if dad is no relation or is actually an uncle. At the same time, in most places you have the right to request your data. Bed bugs don't make you a nasty person with a nasty home. An infestation isn't due to a sanitation issue. They're an imported pest, which means they hitched a ride on something you brought into the house. Usually luggage or furniture. Cement and concrete are not the same thing. Cement is the main ingredient in concrete, but concrete is the whole mixture of cement, sand, aggregate, water, etc. A hysterectomy is removal of the uterus only, not the ovaries. When a person flatlines, you cannot shock them out of it. People, users, are the weakest link in most technology systems. 99% of the time. In archaeology, it's super awesome and great that you brought stuff to an archaeologist at a local dig site near you of things you found in your backyard or nearby asking us appraise it, but the thing is, we're actually more interested in the context the items are found. We need/want to see the bigger picture. Arrowheads, flint knaps, trade beads, etc. are super cool, but they are worth so much more when we can tell if they are part of a hoard, burial site, ceremonial site, etc. There is no fractured versus broken, there are only different types of fractures. It's really a semantic problem, but patients get heated about it. Generally speaking, if you add the percentage of the body covered in third-degree burns and the person's age, together you get the likelihood of it being a fatal burn. 32 and 40% burn coverage? About 70% of people in that condition will die. And AMP, #X200B, source, fiery, working closely with several doctors from burns units. Edit, I love the 100-year-old people comments, and the people with 0% burns, but in their 30s, lamenting the 40% death chance. Those high-end or expensive neighborhoods, they slap up really fast. Usually, gated communities and other semi-exclusive suburbs full of McMansions are built with the absolute cheapest materials and poorest quality/untrained labor. Never buy a spec home without some serious research into what you're actually buying. All that luxury is barely surface deep. Most public defenders are competent actually. The world runs on MS Excel edit, thanks for popping my gold cherry. Obligatory, you can have my Excel, after you ripped it from my cold, dead hands. Wall Street Journal, paywalled. The sensors in digital cameras, including phones, are monochromatic, they don't see color, and have a tiny color filter on each sensor element so it can detect one of three colors, red, green, blue. Then the image is created by calculating what the other two colors might be based on one color value and the values of the nearest sensors around it. TLDR, 2/3 of the color in a digital photo is calculated from the 1/3 that is actual data. Mushrooms are genetically closer related to humans than to plants. The point of most loyalty programs isn't to give you points so you'll shop more, though that isn't a bad thing, it's to gather data, i.e. where do you shop, how often, how much do you buy there, what sort of things at what price points, etc., etc. For us marketing types, data is king, even small things like if a cashier asks for your zip code. Source, marketing professor who still actually works in marketing. If a website is slow, there's a big change. It's not because the developers did a bad job, but because marketing insisted on putting dozens of trackers and ads on it. Pain is effectively a psychological phenomenon and a terrible indicator of physical injury. Far too many people think the human body is a simple cause and effect model. It hurts, therefore something where the pain is located must be wrong. Instead, it is much more like a set of wildly complex, interdependent systems like climate or stock markets. A lot of medical diagnosis is educated guessing with an over-reliance on singular labels for the benefit of explaining the situation to the patient. Water is destructive. We just want to make it all drain at a reasonable velocity along largely historical flow lines to the closest inlet. Breathing in mystery dust from drywall, insulation, carpentry, tile cutting, or any other dust-forming activity can cause lasting effects if breathed in for long periods of time. That N95 is important. Being nice and patient will give you a bigger chance of getting a refund or a new of whatever is broken, than being angry and blaming the random worker. The opposite sides of a die should always add up to 7. On a craps table, you'll see the stick dealer bring the dice to the middle of the table and separate them corner to corner. This is so the person sitting down, box supervisor, can verify with the mirror opposite of them that the opposite sides total 7. February 5, 1/6 3/4 Source, 14 plus years of dealing table games. Edit, apologies. I should have included sides of a 6-sided die. I work in acrylic sheet. The number of people who do not understand what translucent means is astounding. Translucent == transparent. Translucent is solid color that allows light transmission, it glows. Transparent is just that, transparent. We have customers call us all the time, telling us we filled an order wrong, that they received a solid color and ordered translucent red. Edit, thanks for all the upvotes and thoughts. For clarification, majority of these customers order online either through our website or Etsy. Both sites have dozens of pictures and videos explaining and showing the differences.